Our first question comes from Twitter, and it's for Dhiego from Rio. I assume it's a person, not the city. Did Hayder really believe you were an easy fight, or was he just trying to look tough for his coaches?
What do you think? Do you think he really thought you were an easy fight?
No, absolutely not. You know, we haven't trained together much in the past years or so. When we did, you know, it was a long time ago. And, you know, just building on how our careers have been going, you know, there's no way he said he knew it wasn't an easy fight. You know, if it just came out like that, but he didn't.
And I'm not trying to stick pins here, but I wanted to know, he said also to his coaches he felt like he was stronger or better than you in every area. Is that the case when you guys train together?
No, it has nothing to do with us training together. They were probably looking at, you know, my last few fights before that. You know, my last fight before the house, coming in, I was TKO'd, and, you know, that was Hayder's strong point. You know, he's a tough hitter, and that's where I had trouble with in the past. So, you know, I think that's what they were going by.
All right, well, we have a lot to talk about, but we're going to be gathering your tweets and sharing them all show long. If you want to get involved, use hashtag Tough Talk, and I promise the troll booth will find you. So how did we get Hayder versus Dhiego in round one? This has been building for a few episodes now. For a refresher, here's Cody and his fighter.
You train with him?
Yeah, I've trained with him.
How do you feel?
Honestly, it's an easy fight. It's an easy fight.
I think this is the matchup we want. We get one pick. We want to take someone out.
Every time you guys spar, you put them down every time.
No, I mean we don't. I don't spar like that. Right. I spar technically, you know. But like it's a confident fight. You know?
Is there a situation where he dominates anything?
Stylistically, it's my style.
You think he beats you anywhere?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so there was some issues about when Hayder said he'd be comfortable with fighting you, and he did say that Cody made the fight because he thought he was upset about the fact that the team had been losing so much, and Hayder had kind of built this fight up, you know, in episode 4. So, I mean, how do you feel about all that? I know you guys are close friends, but still it has to kind of feel a little bit strange to see your best friend sort of talking about you that way.
Right, it did when I watched the show, you know. Over there at the time, I thought, you know, Cody was just emotional. He lost 4 fights in a row already, and he's like, man, screw it, you know, let's do this fight. So that's what was my first thought, and he just used it, you know. Hayder said things that he shouldn't, and, you know, I guess he just used that. He was desperate for a win, so he was like, man, if you say it's an easy fight, let's do it, you know. So now, you know, it's a little different now, but, you know, it happened. So it's either way, I think it was gonna happen. I think Cody would have picked that up, you know, either way.
Did you want it to be later as well? Like, how did you feel about it being the first round, the first fight, fighting your friend right away?
That's what I thought, like, because Hayder said first, I want to fight Joe, you know? And us being a redemption season, we've all been there before. We all had our careers already. We know what we're talking about. You know, if he said that, he should have been like, okay, that's fine, you know? I told TJ, I was like, hey, for me to fight Hayder, you know, I want to be towards the end. And he was like, of course, man, no problem, you know. I think if he said Joe, you know, they should have just gave him Joe, you know. It shouldn't have been in the first round. I wanted to be maybe in the semifinals or quarterfinals. Definitely not in the finals, you know. But
well, who would you have preferred to fight for your first fight?
First fight, we were looking at Justin Edwards for me. You know, we thought he was a great matchup. He has trouble with longer guys. So, you know, we thought that's where they're going to pick for me as well. You know, but, you know, that's what I wanted.
So how did you feel going into this fight with Hayder? You know, knowing that you're going to fight your friend. I mean, what was your mental preparation in this? Mental
preparation, you know, I never look at anything bad. You know, I'm a real positive guy, and I'm always looking at everything positive. And for this fight, man, Ramsey actually came up to me. He's like, hey, don't cut out fighting Hayder. You know, I know this is a competition, man. They're desperate for a win. They might make that happen. And I was like, no, there's no way. You know, but then he just kept telling me, don't count out on fighting Hayder, you know. And I had to look at the negative, and I was like, okay, I won't cut it out, you know. So I was building already. I was like, man, they might do this, you know. Just looking at all the fights that were going on, so many emotions involved, I was like, you know, this might happen. So I looked at the negative, and I got prepared for it. So came fight time, you know, it was just another fight.
Well, speaking of the negative, though, the positive, looking at the fight, I feel like you put a lot of pressure on yourself. When you look at the fight, you're saying, this is going to determine whether or not I should even still be a fighter. Why did you put so much pressure on yourself?
Because I needed to. I really needed to. At that point in my career, you know, it's like I said in every interview going into the house, it's like I know how good I am. It's like if I can't put this together, you know, that over 20 fights for me now, professional, and I was like, if I can't put it together, you know, what am I doing? You know, so I put all that pressure on myself, and, you know, it paid off in this first one.
Yeah, it certainly did pay off in your first one. Well, your team is up 5-0. Does that mean that TJ picked the better fighters, or do you think that this is a reflection of the coaching style?
It's a little bit of both, you know. I definitely feel like TJ picked a great team, man, you know. You saw some guys that Cody passed up were like, really? You passed me up, man? Come on, you know. Like, you passed some of the guys up.
Uriah, that wasn't
know?
the case.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Uriah,
right. We saw
Uriah.
So I don't know how their picking was, but, man, I think TJ picked a hell of a team, man. He really did. And their coaching, man, they catered to us, you know, whatever, like, we're all veterans there, and they just said, hey, what do you feel like practicing today? What do you want to work on? You know, they didn't give us a pressure, hey, we got to do this, this, and that, you know. Everything he did, he's like, hey, are you okay on doing this? You know, I'm going to show you guys new stuff, but, hey, if it doesn't work for your game, we'll work on something different. So he was great at that, man, and it really paid off.
So, Dave, I have to ask you, because I saw in all the lead-up that you were very passionate about winning this fight. And you said, this is for me. I'm not doing it for my family this time. I'm not doing it for anybody but myself. But I noticed in the fight, you didn't really aim to hit him in the face much. You weren't headhutting. It was body shots and or grappling. So that made me wonder, was it because you guys were friends? Did you feel any kind of, like, did you feel bad? Like, I mean, I don't want to knock my friend out. If I could just finish him with grappling, or was that actually the game plan, knowing Hayder's a heavy hitter?
No, yeah, it was definitely the game plan. You know, when somebody's there, especially somebody that hit as hard as Hayder, you know, trying to take your head off, there's none of that in there, you know. I was going towards the body more because I know he's a fast starter. And, you know, and tell you the truth, I was a little hesitant. You know, I got TKO'd my last fight going into the house, and when you get TKO'd, you know, you get that hesitation, like, you don't really pull the trigger. So that happened, you know. I played it kind of safe, you know. It sucks, but I had to, you know. I had too much to lose. I had too much pressure on myself, and I was like, you know what? I'm doing this. I'm winning. You know, I kept him at bay with kicks. Every time he attacked me, I moved. So, you know, I felt like it was a good night for me doing that, and when the takedown was there, I got it. So, you know, I just stuck to the game plan.